So we're here at Colossae, or as our guide says, Colossae. And Colossae is unexcavated. So we're actually going to walk up this tell, which is the remains of numerous layers over the centuries. It hasn't been excavated yet, but up this way is the mound that underneath all this lies the city of Colossae. And here, I have no idea what this cave is, but we're going to take a look. Ancient Roman concrete. As you can see the layers, at least, that when they do finally excavate all of this, they're going to have to dig down deep and see what the different layers were, the strata for different periods of time. So this is where, obviously, Paul's letter to the Colossians would have been sent. Oh, this is gorgeous. Hold on. Give you guys a better view up here. So those are the mountains that are snow-capped for most of the year. And as a result, you can see how fertile. I think that's called the Lycus Valley. But yeah, you can see we're just surrounded by green. This whole area, incredibly rich. So we're here on top of the mound, the tell that is Colossae. So this that I'm standing on here, and you can see how high up we are. So this is Colossae, where Paul sent the letter to the Colossians. Right over there, right about over that way is Hierapolis. And then right over, maybe right in there, is Laodicea. So these sites are super close to each other. Like, you can see them. So when you think of Paul, I think he mentions, to the church of Laodicea and to the Colossians, like when they're mentioned and send these letters, in this case, sometimes they're very close. Like, it's literally within sight distance. Other times they're much further away. But this is Colossae at the base of these mountains, which throughout most of the year, those mountains are snow-capped, which means that Colossae always had a fresh supply of cold water. And it's obvious, you can see down how green, how fertile this valley is because of that constant supply of water. And Hierapolis, like over there where we were staying last night, is built on thermal springs. So it always had a supply of hot water. So when Jesus says into the church of Laodicea, I wish you were either hot or cold, hot is a good thing. Because as I found out last night, soaking in those hot springs feels very good, soothing, and relaxing. But cold is also a good thing. Cold does not mean spiritually dead. Cold means fresh, cold, refreshing, thirst-quenching. Cold is good. Hot is good. What's not good is lukewarm. Lukewarm water isn't good for anything, except if you want to make yourself throw up. You would drink that to purge after your Balkan feasts. So, some background to not just the letter to Laodicea in Revelation chapter 3, but also to Colossians and Philemon. And yeah, this is just, it's really cool being here on site and seeing this place, anchoring this in my mind. Now, when I read Colossians, I'm going to be picturing Colossae, this actual tell. Of course, the actual Colossae was down many meters below us in the first century, but they're starting to excavate Colossae. So this, maybe in a few decades, will be, who knows what they're going to find underneath my feet. Laodicea right now, Laodicea, and right over there is Hierapolis, and right there is Colossae. Cold water year-round, hot water year-round. Lukewarm is the background to Laodicea.
Like crazy. I mean, I go 1 month, I come back, half of this is finished. I mean, man, unbelievable.
So they have to find which part on which.
I don't know. He has very quick systems.
Thunderbolt.
And what's the name of this again, David?
This is the Bouleuterion, a council chamber where the elite citizens of Laodicea would gather to discuss matters of civic business to the extent that Rome allowed them autonomous decision-making. This is probably built in the 2nd century AD. That might end up being a statue of Hadrian there in the middle. Shimshek, the archaeologist, the lightning strike archaeologist of this place, probably, I mean, this was nothing in 2019. He's just done so much work. So, go take a closer look, get your pictures, and be prepared to be yelled at. You like it?
Thank you. About law of the water. We have special law for the water. Has to be Apollo, if you look at carefully. No, this one. If you go take a picture from that is much better. And then here, of course, I can't remember. Yes, not the first column, the second one. The top one is Laodicea. Okay. It's Laodicea and Apollo. This was the sanctuary. Temple, they protect the outsides of the temple.
Okay, on the...
Yes, the columns.
Yes, on the columns, yes.
The face of the columns, this is some of them cut, some of them Laodicea is the wife of the emperor. So people, so here, when we started to work as a tour guide, if you buy a book 15 years ago printed or 10 years ago, it's going to tell you the cold water comes from Colossae, the hot water comes from Hierapolis, it's mixed up here, that's why it calls lukewarm. Has nothing to do with this. Recently, the archaeologist Jalal Shimshek has proved that there is no hot water coming from Hierapolis to here at all, because there is a river running in between us. So there is no connection, anything brings the hot water here. And they found the actual water coming to this city, it's not from Colossae or from Pamukkale, coming from Babada. The snow melts, they found the aqueduct, We couldn't believe, so he got mad of us when we came for a course here. He took all the tour guides, made us walk long way, all the way across the street, and then he showed us where the aqueduct sending the water all the way to the city. And over there is a water distributing tower, fills with the pipes. Unbelievable. I mean, far away from here. So it's a metaphor. Actually, yes, related with the cold water, with the hot water, but doesn't mean water coming here. It means you are stuck between the hot and cold. You are in the middle. You don't know where you are. You are either believer or not believer. That's the message it's trying to be given to the people of Laodicea. Not strongly believing in Lord, or they don't know what they are. You are lost in between the hot and cold. You are not strong enough. So that's one of the main explanation recently now, after they discovered nothing to do with the water coming from any side. That's one thing. And second thing, what we have here, we have the main agora, one of the agora, by the way. See how many agoras. With the one single column there, this is agora. Just behind the agora, there is a wall. That wall is Hadrian bed. Is everywhere, is bad. And then you look at this side, you believe this is one agora. Forget about that, that one is finished. You walk through that street, Syrian street, then you turn right, that huge place. Look at this one now. Far away there is a curtain there. You see curtain on a wall? That's the other side of the wall of the second agora. And these columns, this side. So look from these columns to the other columns. In between them, all of that was the second agora. Imagine about the size and the wealth. And we have other agoras further on. So the wealth was unbelievable in this city. Since they were like banking center, they're selling the best purple wool here. It's a big discussion why the wool was that fine, shining wool they call about it. I believe, what I believe actually, since the animal, where you get the wool from the animals. So the animals drinking this minerals water, possibly this zinc, iron, all these things give very high quality to the wool, and ends up the wool quality so much different than any other place. That's why it's the best. So then what we have first agora here, second agora here. Over there we have a Trajan, and then we have a theater by the 8,000 people theater, by the West Theater we call, by that crane. And from there we're making a circle coming to the down here. There is another theater, 14 to 20,000. I mean, book says 14. Last seminar we had here, the professor said no, this is 20,000. So he has to change the science actually. And then we have colonnaded place here. This thing. Yes, because look at this one. This is the theater. And they must have.
So here at Laodicea, one of the things that our guide just shared with us is that there's been a change in archaeological opinion, or at least a debate over the past 15 or 20 years or so, that the standard interpretation has always been that the hot, cold, and lukewarm that Jesus says to Laodiceans meant that Laodicea piped in the hot water from Hierapolis, which is right over there, and they piped in the cold water from Colossae, which is right over there, and by the time it got here, it was mixed together and it was lukewarm. But he said that archaeological opinion has changed, and that one of the main archaeologists here has said there's no evidence that there were ever any aqueducts bringing water from Hierapolis, and that the cold water actually came from the mountain over here, not from Colossae, but Colossae is kind of at the base of the mountain regardless. So that was the interpretation. I've always grown up with that, and for, since, I don't know, every commentary you read on Revelation will talk about that. So the question is then, what does that do to the interpretation? And so I'm thinking through and working through. Part of the problem with archaeology is it's as much of a art as it is a science, and you can have different archaeologists look at the same data and come to different conclusions. So in wrestling with this, one of the things I'm thinking is, Regardless, hot water was there. Everybody knew this. Everybody knows this now. Hot water over at Hierapolis. Cold water was over there. Whether it was from Colossae or whether it was runoff from the mountains right there that are snow-capped most of the year. Either way, here is in the middle. It's neither hot nor cold. So the description still works. I think the main point of the interpretation of Revelation 3 and the letter to Laodicea, the main point is still the same. That Jesus says you need to either be hot or cold, because both of those are good things. You are lukewarm. And so, like the water in your city, you are neither hot nor cold. I wish you were one or the other, but because you're not, I'm about to spit you out, or possibly vomit you out. So it's really interesting. I don't know, the details of the archaeology are still in dispute. And I've read, I think the ESV Archaeology Study Bible notes, or they take the approach, or they bring up that there was no hot water coming from Hierapolis, whereas the Archaeological Study Bible from Zondervan or others talk about hot water coming from either, or hot water coming from Hierapolis, cold water coming from Colossae. So I think that either approach, regardless of which detail one ends up accepting, the overall message is the same. It doesn't change the meaning of what the, I don't want to say this, sorry, I took a pain pill earlier, so my brain's foggy. It doesn't change the overall meaning of what the letter was trying to communicate. Cold, hot, lukewarm. However the mechanics, however the hydraulic logistics worked out, the message is still the same. Useful, useful, useless. That's what it represents, not on fire for the Lord versus spiritually dead, which is how the hot and cold and lukewarm usually gets presented. So it's interesting to think about. It's part of the importance of coming and seeing and of staying up with discussions in archaeology, because it helps inform our biblical scholarship. So, yeah. I'm in my ear right now, the guide's going on and talking about some other stuff, but I'm just wanting to process this here on site and share it with you guys as well. So here you go. This is Laodicea is huge, by the way. This is, other than Ephesus, this is probably the biggest. I don't know if this is bigger than Ephesus or not. Yeah, this is one of the biggest of the sites that we've been to so far. And I think it's really fascinating.
So the city, main deity in this city was Zeus. And the name of the city was Diapolis. Diapolis. Zeus was the main deity here. But many gods' temple we have here, such as Athena, Aphrodite, we'll be seeing all of them.
So here in Hierapolis, and I got some footage earlier, but right here was the temple to Apollo, and then right beside it, literally next door, was the plutonium, the temple to Pluto. And below the temple, and then right up there you can see the theater. Below the temple to Pluto is a cave, an underground like entrance to the underworld, and thermal water comes up and it has poison gas. Either carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. The sign was unclear which one, but you could see the bubbles of it coming up out of the water. And Majid was saying that devotees, people worshiping the plutonium, they would go into that or get near enough to experience, to get knocked out. And that was considered a near-death experience and a way of experiencing Pluto the underworld, his realm, as part of the worship. And this is also David De Silva was saying that, so when John talks about seeing an angel coming down with a key to the abyss, the underworld, the bottomless pit, that this literally, that's what they literally believed this was. That this was very literally the entranceway to the abyss here at the plutonium in Thyatira. I mean, not Thyatira, in Hierapolis, which is right near Laodicea. We're only a few minutes from Laodicea. So in addition to being part of the hot and cold imagery in Revelation in chapter 3, it's also the idea throughout Revelation of just opening up and being a doorway into the abyss, into the bottomless pit, into the underworld, and bad things, demonic, coming out of that, resonates heavily here in Hierapolis. And Hierapolis means holy city. Hieros is temple. So city of temple. Hold on, I'm looking out. Yeah, the Temple of Apollo, Plutonium, Theater. There's also a necropolis, because a lot of people died here. And obviously, since this is the place where Pluto was worshipped, this is a place where a lot of people are buried. There's tons of mausoleums and tons of graves. And yeah, it's necropolis, city of the dead. So fascinating background here. Just getting off the elevator in the hotel here at Hierapolis, and now, or Pamukkale, but close to Hierapolis, close to Laodicea, close to Colossae. Anyway, here's the lobby. Our room was up there, and now we're going to dinner. So this is the way you go to dinner. You come out here. These are the hot springs that we bathed in last night. The hot water comes pumped up, not pumped, it comes out of the ground, and they pipe it up and it shoots out. Inside that cave. And it's called red water because it's got such high zinc and iron content. So this water is hot and it comes out. And it mixes into this pool area. And this is where we were swimming last night. It's like a little grotto in there that you can go, and this is the view tonight. And then for dinner, you walk across this bridge. Oh, and here's a normal temperature pool right beside it. And then for dinner, you walk across this bridge to a gorgeous buffet. Oh, right here, as you can see. There's a little bench that goes all the way around, so you can sit up against as the hot water comes in, and you can see so for centuries, this place has been known for the medicinal uses of these hot springs. So anyway, we come here, and now we arrive at our dinner buffet. So, DiscipleDojo trips, we believe in eating together, and we believe in eating well together.